It's a beautiful winter morning here in Delhi, and the tarmac, though India's best tarmac, is here. Booth International Circuit, and of course, it has been touched by the world's fastest riders. In talking about that, I was just here a couple of weeks ago with a leader class motorcycle, and now I'm with a 300cc motorcycle. So I've just ridden these two beauties on the track, and of course, you cannot compare the power with a leader class. There is no way. But what about the fun? I have to say that I really enjoyed riding these two. Let me start with the Yamaha R3 here. This bike has got everything to make you a track rider. If you can master this motorcycle, you can ride any bike and you can ride it faster. This bike has almost no electronics that we expect from a motorcycle that is launched in 2023. There is no traction control, there are no riding modes, no flashy color TFT screen. Of course, ABS is there. But come to think of it, Yamaha MT-15M, R15M, that has a quick shifter, that has traction control, riding modes. God knows how much electrovisibility is there in that motorcycle. But why does this motorcycle does not have any of those? I don't know about that, but let me tell you, if you can ride this bike without a slipper clutch on a track like Booth International Circuit, you can take the corners. I think you're ready for a bigger motorcycle, and that is the purpose of this motorcycle. If you want to ride a bike which is beginner friendly and will not intimidate you, yet you can tour on it, you can go on track days, you can learn the basics of how to brake, panic braking, how to take corners, this is the bike for you. And let me tell you, the cost also is kind of on the higher side, and that is what Yamaha is all about. They believe in this bike so much that they know that this bike is going to sell just because of the engine, just because of how it handles on the track, just because of the quality. And that is the legacy of the Yamaha R3, which has been carried over, of course, in its naked sibling, the MT-03, which also does not have any electronics except, of course, the ABS. Now, which bike would you want to choose? It all depends on what kind of rider you are, but I would personally prefer the R3 if I want to go on the track for sure. But in terms of looks, overall, I think the MT-03 is a more modern motorcycle. It's a more radical bike. I mean, people compare it with the Transformers. Of course, you've seen the MT-15 over here in India, and the kind of mods and the kind of passion people put in that bike to customize it, especially the front, is amazing, especially in South India. And that is going to get carried over here in this bike as well. Now, notice one more thing, that how the tank is onto MT-03, it is a little difficult maybe for the taller riders to get a proper grip, because the knees, they actually touch this and they don't allow you enough room. But having said that, this bike will munch miles, this bike will do anything that you want, and of course, it will be great in the urban traffic. Now, talking about that, let's talk about the heart. Of course, we know that Yamaha says that it revs your heart, and talking about its heart, it's inline twin. There are a lot of things that happen when you upgrade from a single cylinder to an inline twin. Number one, you get a much relaxed engine, much tractable engine, and of course, the sound is also more sweeter, much better, especially if you put an aftermarket exhaust. Now, I had owned an inline twin motorcycle in my yesteryears. That was a Ninja 250, and that sounded amazing. Now, because it went to around 15,000 RPM, talking about that, these bikes go till 12,000 RPM. And when I was on the track, I mean, the engine is absolutely similar. There is no retuning in either of the engines, either for the top end or any of those things. The R3 touched 176 on the speedometer, which would be approximately 165 kilometers an hour 2-speed. And this I managed to do around 171, which is not bad considering, of course, there are no aerodynamics to speak of. And I could not tuck in properly as well on the R3 because I had my action camera. So I believe that it could have gone around 178 easily. As a Yamaha fanboy, of course, my heart goes out for the R3 and the MT-03. I really love the bikes because, after all, it's Yamaha. But if you are a buyer, you have no brand affiliations, you're not a fanboy of any of the brands, which motorcycle is right for you? Now, let me tell you, to start off with, the single cylinders 390s and 400s out there, they have more power than this because this is 42 horsepower and this is 321cc. But remember that in the long run, an inline twin, which has a lower compression ratio, is more relaxed. It will give you a lot more mileage. It will give you a lot more kilometers. It will give you more reliability in the long run. And that is what matters. And if you want all the electronics just to show off, now of course you can go for other motorcycles. But if you really want to be a rider who knows how to ride, who knows how to brake, and who does not depend too much on slipper clutch or traction control, then this is a motorcycle for you. If I was around 18 to 25, 26-year-old and I was looking for my first motorcycle, I would go for a bike which does not have too many electronics, because it will teach you how to ride. It will actually teach you how to brake even when the electronics fail you. And of course, when you hit the track, electronics, they don't help you. You really go fast basis on how good you are with the motorcycle, and that is what this bike does. It becomes one with you. It allows you to actually know it. It forgives you in the corners, and that is what your partner should do. If you make mistakes, it should forgive you. Yet when you want it, it should go fast and it should be reliable. So both of these bikes, they have that. Philosophy aside, I'm really looking forward to these motorcycles being seen on Indian roads. Most importantly, these bikes are actually CBUs. They are not made in India, and that is one of the reasons why they are so expensive compared to other motorcycles which are actually assembled or made in India. But the good news is, if they start making this in India, of course, then the price is going to be much cheaper. And I am looking ahead for the next generation of the R3, and I believe that will carry forward the design language of the R7 and the R15 with the projector lamps and everything, and that will be an amazing upgrade to this. But for now, this is as good as a motorcycle you can get that will teach you the nuances of riding without relying on traction control and all these kind of things which purists say that they don't make you a good rider in the long run. So you guys take care and allow me to rev your heart.